All right, round 4 continues to go here with Tyler Wright and Johanne Defay out in the water, but a big heat had just unfolded for Courtney Conlog there. Now opportunity, Peter, for the American to claw back points on Carissa Moore, yellow jersey leader.
Johanne Defay and Tyler Wright. Tyler Wright, after a heartbreaking loss at Trestles, you know, posting a 9.93, and Carissa Moore able to surpass that and get the two-wave total to take that heat win. You know, Tyler Wright looked in form. We saw her in round 2 yesterday. You know, she faltered in those 3-man heats, which she did again today, and here she is up and riding. Well,
Tyler Wright had a great performance as she stomped through and survived round 2 yesterday in very similar conditions. So let's see as she goes to work with her formula. Big snap for Tyler. Beautiful whitewater rebound as well. You see the acceleration of that surfboard. She'll just pin drop off and just abrupt her momentum towards the beach and save herself a paddle. But a great exchange now unfolding. Now can Johanne Defay on the backhand bring a similar number, and a great exchange underway. Big section now for Defay, and she'll slam straight through it. She knifes through that section. Now past the rocks and another big left hand. This is what Bianca was using earlier, and I'll tell you what, this is a big number delivery here. Big smash at the end.
Gosh.
Wow. That might just be the single best wave we've seen all day right there,
and
Peter.
You know what? I mean, the way where she caught that wave, you know, it was actually south of the rocks, which means that she had to surf completely in front of those rocks, and it was perfect, because what that does is that sand actually acts like a jetty.
Yeah,
and
it compacts
makes it shallow all the way out. And so what happened was that wave stood up right in front of those rocks and got those beautiful sections through the mid part of the wave. It usually is flat, and it's usually deep water. There's a big trench there, but not next to those rocks. Great ocean read there from Johanne Defay, and great wave choice. Look at the scores.
And I think there's another big story coming our way. Peter, take us through this replay. It's a nugget.
Oh, and I mean, so she took off, and knowing you can see the rocks come into your foreground here. And with that, I mean, that's what that shallow water creates, that nice steep section, and there's the rocks in the foreground. Look at this section here. Slams it, and then this one up and over, controls it, another section to finish, bangs it, just perfect rhythm, and you can start to see the scores trickle in. I mean, we talked about this. We knew just by watching it, when you have that wow factor and you keep see it unfolding with more critical sections over and over and over again, you know it's going to go into at least the 9s, and maybe even, you know, maybe a perfect 10. You don't know.
Well, stop number 8 right now, and Johanne Defay is waiting for a number from the panel. In the meantime, Tyler Wright working away with her opener, a 4.67. And we'll just wait for the panel to put numbers to their panel, their digits, and the computer will lock that number in. Peter, we're speaking openly about easily the best wave of the day, if not the event thus far. She went to town on it. It's going to be very interesting to see where they push this on the scale, maybe all the way to the top.
Yeah, there it is. It is definitely the highest wave of the, not perfect, but pretty darn close.
Very, very close to the number 10 number, a 9.63. What a way to start a heat. Johanne Defay has gone stratospheric with her opening ride. Wow, we've got to go for another replay of that as well. She'll be grinning for sure. Look at that, one of the judges, Peter, dropping a 10.
Yeah, that was the first score we saw drop onto the screen, so you know, you knew it was going to happen as we watched the replay again here. So this wave had a nice steep section the entire wave. You know, it stood up. I mean, we haven't seen a wave like this the entire event. You know, right there almost stumbles, but stays in control, comes around the corner again as it gets right by the rocks. I mean, imagine if she had fallen right there. That would have been right in front of those rocks. And again, big section there, but she's used to surfing over those shallow reefs, coming from Reunion Island. Again, one of the best left-handers on the planet there. St. Lou, you know, and she grew up surfing those lefts, so she knows how to, you know, handle those backhand moves.
Thank you, Strada. Well, the point of the story is that Dimity Stoyle will finish with a reasonable, respectable result. Meanwhile, this lady opened with a 9.63. Now Dimity Stoyle on the backhand. Big opportunity here. Ooh, that wave just did the little loop with the tide. Now the peak has been split, and Tyler Wright will go down in the effort as well. So both of those rides just witnessed won't play an impact on the bigger picture of this heat. 16.5 minutes to go. Still plenty of time for both Defay and Wright to get back out the back, lock and load. What we might see here, though, is a quick paddle from Tyler Wright. She'll probably be closer to the primary takeoff area, and not sure on this big playing field today how important the priority card is, but rather have it than not.
Kind of get closer to the other competitor and not surf a different peak. But Johanne actually this was a split peak, so we were able to watch the very beginning of this wave. Actually, Tyler did do some outside work here, so there will be something to be added to this. It'll be her second wave, but again, that fall on the inside plays a role. Unfortunately, as she gets up there late and wasn't able to pull it down. It'll be an average score, but it will go into her top 2. And then Johanne here, she's kind of researching where the rocks are. She's kind of maybe scanning a little bit, and at this point, I don't know what happens here, but she feels like she's not in the spot, so she just kicks out rather than trying to complete that last move. There is a string of rocks, not just where we saw it on our screen, but there's another set kind of even further north. So I think ultimately what she saw there was something that she's not going to go landing on top of a rock, but here she is again.
Well, Defay obviously using that bank. It did deliver her an almost near perfect score. She's just trying to rework that system there, Peter.
With back up that score is what she's trying to do. Around
the halfway mark. Let's go down to Strada Wazalewski as he'll give us an insight onto the conditions that are playing out here this afternoon.
Ask the girls who are in the semi-finals and see if they want to run or if they want to wait for the cleaner conditions tomorrow, but smaller.
Well, there you have it. We're going to leave it up to the ladies and let them make a good call.
I like it. It is about the surfers that have to go out there in the conditions, so I love it.
Well,
work.
Thank you, Strada. And so we march on to the drum of the North Atlantic, and right now this is Defay, and you can see right there, Pete, we were talking about why she backed out of the previous run. It is because she's using that sandbar that has just cemented itself right on the edge of that rock bank.
I mean, she's literally, if we can get a little wider shot, I mean, she is in between rocks, so obviously not scared of surfing in between all of that rocks with all that water moving too. I mean, ultimately, there's probably some landmines. You see, since pulling back, there's actually another set to her right. I mean, she's surfing directly, look at that, inside of a big outcropping of rocks. So there is sand that surrounds it, but ultimately there's rocks there too, so she has got to be very careful, but it's very bold as well.
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime, the judging panel, well, let's have a look at the replay first here, Pete. This is that one that hugs right past the rock zone.
You know what, though? The reason why she likes that wave is because there is those steeper sections. You know, the sand wraps around those rocks, and it makes for an opportunity there. And look at, she is right next to it, but ultimately, knows the idea of what she needs to do, and she is not fearful at all. I love it. I love seeing that kind of commitment.
Well, Tyler Wright banked a 5.67 on her previous ride, the one she did do the spill on. So the judges did like her rail work on the outside, right?
Yeah,
5.67
would have been had she
concluded it,
finished that last move. It would have been a big score.
Well, 12 minutes to go now. We'll watch very, very closely because it is a big buffer of points between Johanne Defay leading over Tyler Wright, and an 8.3 is the requirement for Tyler, so that's a big number.
She's a much easier job if you ask me. So we're going to talk about round 4. What a way to start this round. We had Lakey Peterson and Carissa Moore, and this one was a nail-biter.
Well, this is what we've been saying all day. World title implications, requalification implications, your own personal goals. I know Lakey wants to finish in the top 3 this year, and she is just making her intentions known. I mean, she went to town in this heat, took control from the get-go, took this one in a vice grip, and really gave Carissa Moore nothing to work with.
She had to be incredibly happy with this win. Lakey saying that she really didn't hear a lot out there, and they had a strategy, but she kind of had to throw a little bit of it out the window.
Yeah, exactly. And then these two ladies, this was one of the most exciting heats. I mean, just watching Malia Manuel, the way that she opened up, the way that she really dictated to the wave what kind of surfing she was going to do, smooth and powerful. Had Bianca Beitendag on the ropes for the majority of the heat until, Bianca was able to answer back with a huge score.
And important to note, she had an 8.83, and Malia had a 7.67 and a 7.87, and ultimately that gave her the win, but we really didn't know who was going to take this one until the final seconds.
That's exactly it. Malia took off on that wave and really just threw everything into it. You could see she was surfing with a lot of heart. Malia Manuel, she loves being pushed into a corner and fighting her way back, advancing with the win. You see Coco Ho celebrating with her. That's so beautiful to see those girls really celebrating the surfing that's been going on.
2 big losses with Bianca and Carissa out. We wanted to see what would happen with Courtney and Dimity. This is heat 3, but Courtney ultimately prevailed.
This was just so exciting to me. I mean, we know those circumstances for Courtney with Carissa falling out of the draw. I mean, Courtney is in the hunt for her first world title. This was so crucial for her, but on the flip side of that coin, Dimity for requalification, she needed to advance in this heat if she wanted to keep that dream alive for 2016.
But it is her birthday, and I think she'll celebrate nonetheless. And for Courtney, you know, we asked her, Strider did, about the world title, and she played it cool.
Inform Lakey Peterson. I mean, on paper, that one's a great one because both those girls so competitive.
And then, of course, we have Tatiana Weston-Webb and Malia Manuel.
Both Hawaiians, both from Kauai. That is a great matchup. I'm sure these ladies have met up so many times in the junior ranks. This is going to feel like, you know, another junior contest where they were all just trying to make it through the ranks, but with the added pressure of it being a world championship event.
Now, we've been talking about both these ladies, Courtney Conlog and Nikki Van Dyke, both doing really well throughout this event. How do you think this one's going to shake out?
So being a little tricky, and we'll keep a very close eye on the conditions here. 6 minutes 45 to play, and Tyler Wright, a big requirement in 8.3. Pete, both surfers using two different peaks here. Looking at Tyler Wright now up and riding. I think she's moved over to that left-hander. She's not going to let those numbers just go a-begging for her opponent. Now, can she come around the section? Trying to unlock it. It doesn't happen now. Still enough time to get back and reload and attack that lead of Johanne.
Johanne's kind of leaving it a little bit open, considering that her backup score is only a 4.33. I mean, if she puts a solid good wave on the books, it could change things for Tyler Wright really quickly.
Yeah, so Tyler Wright still in with a shot here. Let's have a look at this. This is Defay. So now an exchange taking place. Oh, little belly out and now back to her feet. Now the other wave is starting to stand up. We've spoken about the tide. There's the rocks as well. Into the danger zone now for Defay, and she'll just eject. So this exchange, although critical, is not going to deliver big numbers on the judges panel.
Oh, crazy stuff. I mean, it was unfortunate that she had to jump to her belly there. You know, that always puts a little bit of a pause in the score slightly. Let's take a look at it from a little closer angle here. So she drops in again. She was right next to each other when they took off on this wave. Actually, Tyler took an earlier wave. You know, hers shut down there. Gets to her belly, but unfortunately what it does is it puts her in position for this turn here, which she really lays into. Nice snap, and can't get back up there again because the rocks are right there in the way. If she had jumped up on there, she would have really committed to going into that shallow water. So she decides to step off, and again, I think that you know, the majority of the score will come from that very first, or I'm sorry, midway turn where she went back to her belly. But I think all of that, you know, will play into the score. And you're right, it's probably not going to make it a
mid-range score now checking in for her. And well, let's have a look at her heat recap, because it does feature that absolute piece of gold for Johanne Defay.
Yeah, here it is, you know, and this wave just kept on giving as it goes through this inside section. Look at this, it steepens up right in front of the rocks. Big snap there, stays together as she rides through that bumpy section, and then again, steep section slashes it, and then this final move, up and over. Good stuff there from Johanne Defay, and then the closeout, bang. One last move, a 9.63, and that early lead. Although Tyler Wright has had some pretty good little rights here. Yep. This one, a 5.67, you know, it would have been a much better score if she'd been able to complete this last closeout move. As she gets to the inside here, she gets up there a little bit late and goes down. That score only a 5.67, and this is the backup score, which is coming in right now. It's going to slightly improve her situation for Johanne Defay and make it a little bit more difficult for Tyler Wright.
Well, both girls now working that left-hander, 3.5 minutes to go, and judges are delivering scores for that exchange. Quite an evenly balanced exchange there, Peter, between Tyler Wright and Johanne Defay. It's the lead, and that looks like what Johanne Defay is about to receive from our panel. Looks like a set of numbers in and around the 5 mark, a 5.33. So now a bigger requirement for Tyler Wright, a 9.3 is the requirement for the 6th seed on the leaderboard. Wow. This is a big result for Johanne Defay. It looks like she's going to be staring at a quarterfinal appearance here a little later on today. Johanne Defay, big margin now with the requirement of a 9.3 for Tyler Wright. 18th at the Roxy Pro on the Gold Coast. Went quite a lot better with a quarterfinal appearance at Bells Beach. And then a string of 9s through Brazil and Fiji. And then she got the semi-finals in Fiji. And let's have a look here, because now she's really trying to cement the win. And she'll just change direction. Nice flow here from the French lady. And Whitewater rebound as well. Surfing to the push on that current next to the rocks. And I'll tell you what, she's got a couple of accentuated maneuvers there for the judges to think about as well. With around 90 seconds now, Pete.
That forehand turn,
Yep.
you know, she really laid into it. She showed commitment, you know, and so this could improve her situation. I mean, that last one, a 5.33, adding that extra point to her total was very, very smart. I mean, instead of only needing an 8.3, now needing a 9.3 for Tyler Wright, and maybe at this point, if this next score comes in, could even, you know, make it out of reach for her completely.
Wow. So still a little slim chance for Tyler Wright,
Take a
but
look
we'll
at this.
see what the numbers come in for this.
So she weaves in, and this, I like this turn. She really laid into it, hammered it, you know, and right here backs it up with a nice snap, and then the wave shuts down. But these foam climbs is you know, they don't score a whole lot, but they're not easy to do. In my opinion, those are an underappreciated maneuver.
Wow, a 6.6 is what registers inside the last minute for Johanne Defay, and with that, she has nudged out an even bigger set of points, and now Tyler Wright, who is writing the script, is in combination land. It has just been a crazy day in the sport, and I'll tell you what, no one would have called this end result with now 20 seconds to go.
Not put on a huge display, big scores, and this one going Johanne Defay's way. I mean, it really came down to that very first wave that started the momentum in Johanne's court, and it stayed there the entire heat.
Yeah, and she picked that up within the first minute and a half, so she set the tone from the start, and she is going to wrap up a heat win here. Johanne Defay, a 9.63, backs herself up on that last ride, a 6.6. Judges appreciating the power in the lip from the French lady, and it is at the expense of this lady on screen, Tyler Wright, now in combination. Wow, that will wrap up round 4 of competition.